I can't believe I'm making this video, man. Trust the fungus. Hi, I'm Andre, and recently I made a video about Jurassic Park, and in that video I made a joke about another movie with dinosaurs that came out in 1993, Super Mario Brothers, and how I constantly defend it and I still like it to this day. And everyone always makes fun of me because of my love for the Super Mario Brothers movie, because they're like, Andre, how could you like that movie? Unsubscribe, you know? You like a movie that is in no way respectful to the source material of the Super Mario Brothers video games. It's bad. The cast that was a part of it talk about how it was one of their worst movie experiences. How could you like this movie? I don't know, man. I know it's bad. And I know it is nothing like the Super Mario Brothers video games, but there's just something about it that makes it fall off the mark so much that it kind of loops back around to me just being like, you know what? You're not right for me, but I kind of like ya. So let's go all the way back to when this movie came out. I actually saw this movie in theaters. The first time I saw it was in a theater. Yes, I paid money to go see Super Mario Brothers and just having a blast. And brace yourself, I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie multiple times in the theater. I definitely saw it when it first came out. I remember seeing it at a dollar theater, and I think I might have seen it a third time, either at the dollar theater or regular theater. Now look, I have defended a lot of bad movies, but it's another thing to defend a bad movie and also have gone to see it multiple times in the theater. I don't usually do that with a bad film, see it multiple times. Okay, except for maybe a movie with some CGI cats named Mr. Mistopheles. But other than that, that's how much I was into this movie. And of course, when the VHS came out, rented and eventually had the VHS, got the DVD. Wish it was on streaming. Do you know that the Super Mario Brothers is nowhere on streaming? Someone told me that if you can get a Japanese Netflix account, that maybe it's on there. This would have been a great video to get sponsored by a VPN service, but it's nowhere to be found. It's not on Netflix, it's not on Hulu, it's not on Amazon, it's not on Disney Plus. The movie was released or distributed in the US by Hollywood Pictures, which was owned by the Walt Disney Company. So technically, Super Mario Bros. Is a Disney movie. We need to have the Super Mario Bros. Movie on Disney Plus. And you don't even have to edit it. When I was watching that movie in the theaters and that first sound hits, do 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 do, and those weird MS-DOS dinosaurs show up, and the meteorite comes in, and then they drop off the princess and the egg, and then the Mario Brothers plummet and gotta stop old Scapelli. They keep taking their jobs, and they gotta find that meteorite piece. They gotta find the rock, and then you know got Daisy going through the wall. Daisy, Luigi! I need Koopa coins, you lamos! Dennis Hopper as a President King Koopa, a germophobic President King Koopa who everyone wanted to kick out of office. Sometimes I think Super Mario Bros. Was ahead of its time. Mario dancing with Big Bertha. Stop. Big Bertha being a woman that you dance with and stick Mario's head in her breast to get a meteorite piece out from her cleavage. This is rated PG. All the stores and the people and all the background are named after various Mario things. They didn't have to do all that, but they did it. There's some work in this, okay? I don't care what anybody says. As bad as the work might have been, the work was definitely done. You know how you can get an F in something because you just didn't try, and you got an F in something because no matter how hard you worked, it was just wrong? That's what Super Mario Bros. Is. It is a hard effort F. King Koopa trying to get his pizza. Like, I just love that that was a whole bit that happened. That movie is just so weird. All the Trust the Fungus and the Goombas and that scene when they're in the elevator and you first see that gear that looks like the Mario Brothers colors and they're all like, I'm just like, dude, I'm into this. And then Daisy coming in at the end with her gun being like, we need to come back. There's more out there to do. And we're like, oh shoot, we get a Super Mario Brothers 2. No, we're not, never. But at the time, I was like, I'm ready for it. Yeah, man, I dug it. And I think what helped is that I was kind of obsessed about this movie before it even came out. Before this movie came out, I need to know everything about it. I was so obsessed. And there wasn't a lot of movies I did this with back in the day. The only other ones I remember doing this with is the other Bob Hoskins movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Bob Hoskins, I will always love him for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I will also always love him for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. because he's just pretty much Eddie Valiant as Mario. I remember there was like a magazine that had an article about it, and I remember reading that. I remember there was a VH1 like movie preview show that had a segment about the movie, and I remember taping that and watching it multiple times. I remember there was like a contest that was in, I think, another magazine where you could win Super Mario Brothers stuff. I ended up getting the poster, which is gone now. Not like the big, huge poster, but like a little, like, you know, locker size poster. And I even remember reading the novelization. Now, I can't remember if I read the novelization before or after I saw the movie. I think I might have done it before. But yeah, I read Super Mario Brothers, the movie, the book. I remember getting excited when the trailer for the movie launched, and say what you will about the movie, but that's a really good trailer. All those quick cut shots, not knowing what's going on while the names are popping up. I got the power playing in the background. I seem to have a fascination with movies that play I got the power, because I got the Power Rangers movie and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And of course that tagline, this ain't no game. Freaking love that. That was a great advertisement of just like, we just letting you know when you walk in here and see this movie, it's not like that thing you did on your Nintendo. It's a whole different thing. I know this movie is nothing like the video game. That was kind of the appeal of it. Like, I know nowadays you're like, if someone makes a movie based after a video game or a comic book or a book or whatever, it needs to follow that source material. But back then, there was still kind of these muddy waters of how much of the source material you want to follow. I mean, this was technically the first movie to adapt itself from a video game. No one knew what they were doing at the time. And it's really easy to look at the library of Mario games now and go, well, there's such a lore to this franchise. How could you mess this up? But back then, we had the 3 Mario NES games, we had Super Mario World on Super Nintendo, and we had the cartoon, Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and its sequels. Now, yeah, you could have just done Mario, Save Princess, Castle, but at the time, it was like, look, we can explore what to do with this. And the fact that they came up with, let's make a kid version of Blade Runner, that's what they came up with, just fascinates me. If you were to ask 100 people, even back in the 90s, to make a Super Mario Brothers movie, I don't think any of them, if you asked them what their concept would have been, would have come up with that. Would have come up with a meteor hitting the Earth, splitting us into 2 dimensions, where on the other side, the dinosaurs survived and evolved into humans and have a complete dinosaur human world that we then go over, and then you have fungus everywhere, and you got Dennis Hopper playing a President King Koopa human, but he's evolved from a Tyrannosaurus. That Toad is a musician, and he gets turned into a Goomba, which looks nothing like the Goomba from the video game. Instead, it's a tall, huge beast with a small, tiny green head, and that Mario is gonna be played by Bob Hoskins and Luigi by John Leguizamo, but that was a big deal. But they're gonna be the Mario Brothers? Let's go, this is serious. That's what was kind of weird about this movie. It was weirdly taken seriously at its time. Like, when you think about kids movies and family films in the 80s and 90s, they are clearly kids movies and family films. They're very much Disney movies, or trying to be Disney movies. If they're live action, they're very toned down, very kind of corny and jokey. That's why so many people on YouTube today make fun of so many of them. Or they're basically, hey, that cartoon show you like, here's an hour-and-a-half version of it as a movie. Like, that's pretty much what we got. That's why, and I might talk about this in another video, that's why the Ninja Turtles movie in 1990 was such a big deal. Because they could have easily just make a 90-minute version of the animated series, but instead someone went, no, let's call Jim Henson up. Let's make some animatronics and puppets. And you're like, okay, that's an idea. That's how I feel about Super Mario Brothers. You could have just made a simple animated film where Mario and Luigi jump into a bright, colorful mushroom kingdom to save Princess Toadstool, but instead you chose Daisy from Super Mario Land, who wasn't that big at the time. Now she's a big deal, but back then it was like, that's all you knew her from, and you instead do light Blade Runner. And everything's dark and gritty, and like, it's weird because that seems so wrong now, but that seems so like, ooh, my Mario's edgy now. Back then, I don't know, man, maybe I was alone in this, but I enjoyed it and my friends enjoyed it, and I think it not looking like the game actually excited us a little bit at the time, even though it might look ridiculous now. But yeah, man, there's no question. You look at the Mario Brothers video game and you look at this movie and it's like, y'all did not play the game at all. But I think that was what was so fascinating about it. This movie was so far off the map, not even getting close to to the Super Mario Bros. Video game that it almost was like, I gotta keep watching this because of how wrong it is. But then what was interesting about it was it would be so off course. It's not even close. And then they would just throw a little thing in there to make you go, oh, that's from the game. You know, it's like, this dimensions and the president, oh, his name's Koopa. No, I don't understand why is he driving an electric taxi, whatever. Oh, it's a mushroom. I don't know what's going on. Why are they in like cages just like, his name's Toad. I don't understand why there's this big beast. Oh, it's called a Goomba. Oh man, I don't understand what the guys that are following him. Oh, their names are Iggy and Spike. Iggy is a Koopaling and Spike is that dude that sticks the spike balls and throws them. I don't understand why they're dancing around in this nightclub. And oh, Billy Bill's in the shoes. I don't understand why Princess Yoshi. I don't know why they're fighting on the street. That's a super scope. He's using a super scope. There's a Bob-omb. That's a legit Bob-omb. Wearing Reeboks. That Bob-omb is a sneakerhead, man. Dude, Reebok should make some Bob-omb shoes. They made some Super Mario Brothers shoes. We get all these Back to the Future shoes all the time. Why can't I have the shoes that Mario and Luigi wore in Super Mario Brothers? Why can't that be a shoe? Huh? Where's that shoe at? It's never gonna happen, Andre. It's one of these weird movies where if you kind of take the Mario Brothers out of it and just looked at it as the movie that it was, what if there was an alternate dimension where dinosaurs evolved and you went to that dimension? Then that might have just been an interesting, unique kind of 90s movie in itself. But you also kind of have to have the Mario Brothers stuff in it because that's what's fascinating about it, is to look at that concept and go, but it's Super Mario Brothers. And that just works for me. Like, it just works for me because it's just enough of hitting my nostalgia that's right, but also enough nostalgia to know that it's not right, but like they're constantly at a tug of war with each other. I mean, the garbage men kind of look like Sniffets. Bullet Bills going in the shoes. They actually call them the Super Mario Brothers in the movie. They're plumbing, you know, like it does just enough while still not doing enough that I just am like, alright, you got me. And then you got that soundtrack. I remember standing in a JCPenney one time because JCPenney, the one I went to, used to play music videos in the store. And I remember one time they played the Walk the Dinosaur, showing clips of the Mario Brothers movie while showing the music video. And I stood there and watched that whole thing. Open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. Oh, and that song at the end, it's almost unreal. It's almost unreal. I like the music from Super Mario Brothers movie. I do. I love when you do that hocus pocus to me. I know that John Leguizamo has done a lot of stuff in his career, but if I ever got the chance to talk to him, I would only want to talk to him about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I watched the Gaming Historian video about the movie. I follow the Super Mario Bros. Archive, who gets all the props and finds hidden scenes. I'm so upset because there was a video game museum that actually had a Super Mario Bros. Movie exhibit and I was never able to go. And that's one of the saddest regrets I have in my entire life. I just love it, man. I just love how wrong it is. And yet it's so right in how wrong it is. So Super Mario Brothers, I love when you do that hocus pocus to me and making me think that you are a movie I should still enjoy even though you're bad, but I will always enjoy you no matter how much the masses say otherwise. I trust the fungus. I sway in an elevator. I love mud because it's clean and dirty at the same time. I'll never forget the time I kissed a lizard. Anytime I ever see a monkey at a zoo, I'll just go, monkey, you got me. And you're not alone. There are some other movies that are out there that a lot of people hate on the internet that I do not have a problem with. I may not defend them as hard as Super Mario Brothers, but I don't hate them. As a matter of fact, you know, let's do a challenge. If this video gets, let's say, 3,000 likes. If this video gets at least 3,000 likes, I will make another video about a hated movie on the internet that I'm actually like, I'm cool with it. Oh, by the way, I have a gaming channel now. Speaking of doing crazy things, I decided to start a gaming channel in 2020, Black Nerd Games. It's where I put up some of my Twitch streams as well as just do all my gaming stuff there because this channel is going to be more about movies and cartoons and nostalgia and things. So if you have any interest in gaming stuff, go check it out. Subscribe if you want to. If you're not into gameplay, that's totally fine. But if it's the thing you're interested in, a lot of people have been asking me to do something like this. You know, it's kind of like the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'd rather try and fail than never try at all at it. So, thank you guys so much.